It's Monday morning. I've got my coffee and I wanted to work on filling in these river weeds that I ended with last week. And I was thinking about composition. So I knew I had in this book that I have ideas, stencils, and patterns in, I had done a bunch of composition studies. And let's see, that was some of them. And then, yeah, so I was thinking about the S curve and trying to work that composition into the next one. So what I did was I took the second one and I filled in the dark green. Can you kind of see the S pattern? Anyway, that's what I'm thinking. And now I'm going to paint it in with some teal. I love teal and green together. So I'm gonna fill in the open spaces with teal and then see what I've got. I made some dark green. I left some open, filled in some with that lime green. But I like the way it looks right now, so I'm gonna fill in the spaces with teal and then I'll let you see what it looks like. Okay, so I mixed up a good amount of, it's just teal. I put a little bit of green and white in it. And let's see what we get here. So I'm just gonna fill in. I'm gonna go right up to the edge, but I'm gonna leave white. Okay, I like that. I like the dark S curve. I've left lots of white kind of sprinkles around. I like the lime green. The teal with the green is really pretty. And I'm gonna take my grayscale and value finder that I've got, and if I hold it up, this dark is in this value range. If I put that on top of that and squint, I can't tell the difference in this square right here. So That's my darkest dark. And this lime green falls, I think it falls in this value. If I squint, I can't really see the difference there. So my darkest dark, I've got mid value. It's interesting where the teal would fall. When I squint, it seems to fall in this range. So I've got some mid values, dark, and then of course I've got my whites. Yeah, so I've got a nice balance of values. I can take it in black and white and see how that looks. Yeah, so that was my second fill-in, and I think it turned out really pretty. It's just some crazy sketching of weeds by the river, and then picking out a composition, and then filling in the background, and so now I'm going to work on the next one. I got this old dictionary at an estate sale the other day, and it is falling apart. Here, I'll show you. It's coming apart. So it's a mess. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of this tape and I'm gonna tape the binding up real good. And I'm gonna use it for collage. I've got all this cool collage, and I'm just gonna start trying to every day put a little collage together and put it in this book. And I'll have to rip out some of the pages, and I'm going to use those pages in different things. So I just wanted to show you what I was doing with that. Okay, so I taped it up. It's still a little rough because it was getting ready to come apart, but I've taped the binding and the insides here. So yeah, I love dictionaries. I've got a bunch of them. I don't know why. I like books in general, but for some reason I just collect dictionaries. But this one, like I said, it was already falling apart. It wasn't going to last much longer. So I'm going to use it for some collage. So I went through my trays of collage and I picked out about 20 just random pieces. And now I'm going to play with just putting something together. And then I'm going to glue it into my book. I wanted to keep the first page, so I dampened that, and I've got it pulled so it was real wrinkly. I'm trying to straighten that out. And then I'm going to do my first collage right there. I was working on just putting random collage pieces together, and then I noticed that I had done, and I thought, maybe I should stay with the same theme I've been working on the last couple of weeks and put a few together and make like a pot with a flower arrangement in it. So I just threw these different collage elements together, and I think I'm going to draw a container and paint it in. I don't know if I'll use some kind of pattern on it might be cool. And then do like a little floral arrangement. Just fun playing with it. All right, I'm going to use charcoal, and I'm just going to draw a container, and I'm holding the camera. I'm holding this at the end, so it's going to be very loose. But let's see here. I think I just want like just letting my pencil roll. I'm going to double line it. Yeah, I think something like that, just with charcoal. And I think I'm going to paint that in with ink. I'm going to use that sepia ink mixed with a little bit of white gesso. All right, I have some white gesso and the sepia, and I'm just going to mix this up. Grab some more. All right, and I think I'm just going to paint this. Interesting, I'm holding the camera. Yeah, I just wanted a real neutral vase. My water's over here, so let me just grab some of that. Yeah, it's still Monday morning, and do y'all do this? Just get up and think of different things to do. I just thought I would just start recording what I'm doing, because this is actually how I work. I just think of different things I can do, and I work on those. And that recording was probably not great, but that's where I'm at so far. I have these pages with the garden shapes that I did the other day. I think I'm going to cut some of these out and just play with maybe putting those in the pot. Okay, so I took about 5 minutes and cut a bunch of this stuff out, and now I'm going to play with it and just see if I can get something. But that's the thing about playing. This started as one thing and has turned into another, and I'm just playing and having fun. Okay, I played with the collage and I came up with that little composition. I just stuck pieces in and out, and yeah, like that. So I'm going to glue that down. I thought I was recording and I was not, so trying to figure out how the best way to get this on. I'm using my Liquitex matte gel, and I'm just going to try to put that on. Okay, I got the first piece. Let's see here. I think I had piece right here. Okay, I know I had this piece on top. It goes like that. You know what though? I had these under this, so while it's still wet, I'm gonna try to lift this. Well, I guess, okay, well, it's the same color, so I could just put it on top like that, yeah. There and there. Make one a little higher than the other. Put that there. And then these two, I think, were something like that. No, they might have been a little bit more over. Let's see, we'll bring those over a little bit. And I think I had this there. And I'll bring this one out a little bit more. Yeah, something like that, I think it was. All right, let's see here. Just gonna put the matte medium right on top. I'll get up under here where I can. Under here. Yeah, this is all good practice for other like that. It needs, I think it needs a little something like that on this side. So let's see what I've got. What else do I have like that? Just need a few leaves. Here's some. Tear this out. Let's see. Yeah, I think something like that. Okay. All right, I'm going to dry this. Okay, I dried that and I put it under some heavy books to flatten. So let's see what we got. It's a little straighter. Interesting. I just have to decide if I'm just going to leave it like that. I like it. Or am I going to paint the background in? I used Liquitex Basics parchment to paint the background. It just knocked the writing back a bit, but you can still see it. But I like the way that turned out. And with the extra parchment I had, I threw it on this. I work on these in stages, and this was just too bright, so I knocked that back. I'm still working on this. And I also used it to paint in this background, my extra paint. I'm trying to use it up, and like I said, I work on these little by little. And then I took my new Liquitex gouache, and I mixed the yellow and blue and made a green, added a tiny bit of red, and I did this pot, which I love it just like this. I don't know I don't know if I'm going to put some greenery in it or paint around it. I'm not sure yet, but I just love that shape and that color that I got. So I had extra green, so I threw it in this table, and then I threw it in that picture that I'm working on for this painting. So I take all these little paintings and I work on them in stages until I feel like they're finished. But it's all a work in progress and all just fun to play with. So yeah, I like to just show you what I'm up to. So this was the first one I did. That was the second one, and I was looking through what I had left. Not sure what I'm gonna do there, but I was looking at this one, and it already looks like all of this could be like in a container. So I took one of my dictionary pages and painted it with, let's see, I mixed Liquitex Hooker's Green and a little bit of black. And I just painted this swatch, and I think I'm gonna cut a bowl out of this and collage it on as a container. So that's what I'm thinking. And we'll see how it turns out. I drew this on the back of this page to kind of get an idea of the bowl I want. So now I'm going to cut it out, and then it'll be ready to collage on. I cut the bowl out and collaged it on. I put a wash of parchment on the bottom. I'm going to make it like it's on a table in a garden. I'm going to fill it in with orange. I thought the orange against the greens would be pretty. That's just straight orange ink. And so I'm just going to continue working on it, and then I'll show you what I've got. So I'm filling this in, and I wanted to show you that I grabbed another brush. This is a Princeton 4, and it's really interesting because this seems to hold a lot of ink, and it comes to a very fine point. So I'm able to put more down. But I just wanted to show you this brush because I thought it was interesting. So I'm just still filling in. All right, so I got all the orange filled in. It's interesting because it hasn't totally dried, but it looks like it's going to vary in color, which I like. This top left corner is where that Princeton brush grabbed a lot of ink. So I like the way that turned out though, that dark corner up there. I like this plant being white, but I want to tone this one down, so I'm going to fill it in with, I think I'm going to fill this side in with the lime green. I'm going to fill these leaves in so that that white is more of the focal point. I filled in that green, and then I used a thin wash of black for the shadow, and then I decided to use teal for the table. So yeah, I love all those colors together, and that was my third one, so I have 2 more to fill in. So this is the first one I did, and then let's see here. I did this one. I skipped this one. I still need to do this one. But I did that one, and I still need to do this one. And just for the fun of it, I threw in a picture of that grapevine. And here is a picture of the foliage at the river. And here's the river. Did that in the dictionary and that. So I want to work some more in this. And I also finished up a few of these cats. This one changed a lot. It originally looked like this, but I thought the cat was too little, so I changed it to that, and I like it better. That one, and that one. Yeah, so that was a fun week, and I really appreciate you watching my videos. And as always, leave me any comments or questions, and I'll see you next time.